Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? I am coming to you. If you're watching this later on YouTube, this was actually broadcast live on the evening of the 2nd of November. So if you want to catch things like this live as they happen, be sure to go to Twitch, to my Twitch channel, and set up notifications so you see when I'm live on Twitch. Let me know, please, how everything looks and sounds. I'm still a newbie on streaming, so if something isn't set up right, I'd like to know. It looks like everything's pretty good. If you want the music down a little bit, we can do that. All right, so what I have here, I've been meaning to do this pickup stream since July for lots of reasons. Some were in my hands, some were out of my hands. It's gotten postponed until now. And as a matter of fact, I'll get to it later. A few things, well, one thing that I bought in July still hasn't shipped yet. So part of it was I was waiting for everything to get here. But it's only one thing. I'm not sure if it's ever going to come, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the pickup stream. I know a lot of people like pickup streams for the video games, and of course I do have some video games here, but those are going to be pushed towards the end. We've got a long way to go before we get to video game stuff. So if you want that, you want to skip towards the end or come back towards the end. It's all gaming related. I'll kind of give a story to everything that I've got here. But I've just got a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. We'll start off. I'm 2 days after Halloween, and so one of my pickups is some half-price Halloween candy. So I hope you found some good stashes of that. Let's see, where do I want to start? Man, I've got 3 small piles over here. If I stacked them all up, it would easily be 4 to 5 feet tall. And I've got box cutter, and I guess we just want to get started. I will say, I've not done a pickup stream or pickup video before, so this is kind of my first time. Creep says, if you wait for everything to show up, no videos would ever be made. Blink was telling me the same thing, that there's always something coming, and that's kind of true. I ordered some things just yesterday that won't be here till next week, but I didn't want to wait for that stuff. But, like, it's unreasonable that I ordered something in July and it's still not here. You know what I mean? So, Weedo's here. Hi, Weedo. You ordered an analog pocket a year ago. Well, that's a little different. I think you knew that was going to take a while to get to you. So, over the past few months, I've kind of indulged in a little bit of retail therapy. Things have been going pretty well in my life, but I kind of just popped the cork on buying, and I kind of went a little overboard here. I got out of some credit card debt. I paid my card off to zero, and there's no better way to celebrate than to fill it all the way back up again. That's only a little bit of a joke, but the truth is, for the last few years, ever since 2020 and the pandemic, my pickups have really dropped off. There is so much uncertainty in the world. Hey, Mighty Q Dog's here. Hey, hello, enjoy. I'm glad you stopped by. Sorry, no Master System stuff here this time. You're waiting on your pocket too. Yep. Sir Chadley's back. Hey, welcome. Thanks for popping over. So, ever since 2020, I've really put a constraint on pickups. I've, of course, bought things. I'm still living my life, but I just picked up very very little. And so a lot of things got kind of pushed off until life got back to normal. And I think things are about as normal now as they're going to get. And so I kind of just started buying and catching up on things I wanted and finding new things that I thought were cool. And we're just kind of going to go through these things. Now, the fun part is a lot of this stuff I haven't even opened yet. So this is kind of like Christmas for me. Scotch is here. Hey, Scotch. What's up, buddy? So some of these things, I don't even know what I've got. I'll be opening it and kind of reacting in real time. Now, most of this stuff, I bought a lot of board games. I've got a few nieces in my life, and I would like to enrich their life with gaming the way that my life was enriched with gaming. But it's just tough to find the right things that will kind of appeal to them, satisfy their sensibilities. Because of course they're little teenagers. They got their tablets and they spend a lot of alone time, and we're gonna kind of institute some family time. So I bought things kind of tuned towards that. Now I've already got a lot, but you can't start running. You got to kind of start from the ground up. So we're gonna be playing some Uno. We're gonna have the girls keep their own scores. kind of work on their math skills a little bit, because yeah, the break in the education system, one of the two girls for sure, her math has suffered from her satellite learning. It just didn't go as well as it would have gone in class, so she's kind of playing catch up. So I think things like having some math in our games, but not be the focus of the games, is going to help. So we're going to be playing Uno and keeping on scores. So let's just start here. I don't even know what some of this stuff is, and this may be a video game. So if we're going to start there, that's great. Tear at perforation, it says. There we go. I should have a trash bucket near me. Guido says he's going to sleep. Oh, okay. So this was actually not for the girl so much. This is actually for my wife and I. Settlers of Catan, very famous modern game. It's actually a game I don't own. I don't own regular Catan. And since I only grew up with kind of mass market corporate games, I kind of missed out on a lot of strategy. So I'm not that good at strategizing with modern board games. So I thought this is for me to get caught up. I thought starting with something a little more simple might be a good way to learn some of the concepts and get into it and see if I want to go towards the full game. So reviews pretty well. It was not very expensive. Got this from Amazon, so that's really for the wife and I to give a shot. So we're gonna add that to the board game pile. All right, what is in this box? Let's see what we got. All right, this one, I did tweet about this. This is another one for the wife and I. A little wordy. It was a game actually I did not hear about. This was part of the early Prime Day sale. Well, Catan was on like the Xbox Live Arcade, so I kind of tried to play that to learn it. My problem is just like, I guess victory points are still a thing that kind of just eludes me a little bit, and understanding what a good move is versus a bad move. But most people say Catan's pretty easy, but I'm like starting with very little experience with games like that, so it hasn't been that easy for me to grasp just from reading the rules. Now, if I had a gaming group that was willing to teach me, I'm sure it would go a little differently. This is a word game. I don't remember the details of it, but it looks really cool. I'm not going to talk about price. I'm not going to focus on price. I will be talking about price a lot, because a lot of the story to these pickups, price does play a factor in whether or not I decided to get it. This was pretty inexpensive because it was part of the Amazon sale. Blink's here too. We wanted it bad enough, and here we are. Yes, this is the bully that made me do this pickup stream. So if it goes poorly, everybody blame Blink. Also in the same box is Sequence Stacks. Sequence is a kind of a board and card game, a little bit like Pokino, if anyone's familiar with that. This is just a variation on it. I'm a real fan of when they brand a new game with an old license. I don't try to get them all. There's going to be a lot of them in the pile over here. You'll see a lot of these. So, but these things just interest me, and so I wanted to give it a go and see what it plays like without the board, and see what kind of new game they came up with. So you're going to see a lot of things like this, and as a matter of fact, we'll do one of these next. I just also got Clue card game. There's been several Clue card games. I put off getting this for a while because there are so many of them, and sometimes it's the same game again, and so I didn't necessarily want to buy it if I already had it. But a little bit of research tells me this maybe is a slightly different game than the ones that I've already purchased. So this will be one that definitely trips my trigger. Sir Chadley says he also picked up a little wordy. Oh, well, thank you for picking that up. That seemed pretty cool. And unfortunately, I've been buying all this stuff, and I've kept all this stuff from my family until this pickup stream. So on the other side of my life, now we can actually sort all these things out and put them into our daily rotation. It's kind of been unfair to everybody. In the same fashion as that Clue card game, there's a new version of Yahtzee out. This one, I think, too, will be a little bit more applicable to kids. Yahtzee's kind of a dry game, and with the turn taking, it's not the best for younger players. This one is a variation where everybody plays at once, that will be kind of appealing, and you're trying to match up with what's on the cards, so slightly less decision making. So I think it'll be a good introduction to the game. It seems somewhat similar to a version they came out with like a decade ago called Yahtzee Free for All. It's not exactly the same, but it seems a little bit similar to it. That's another game that's out in the garage. So Yahtzee is one of my brands that I really follow. So I could have waited for Christmas. This is Christmas, Weedo. This is Christmas. I get to do it all over again for the next 2 months. Yeah, absolutely. Sir Jadley, I think so too. All right, what else do I have here? So this I got on clearance at Target. It's a newer version of Wits and Wagers. If you're not aware of what Wits and Wagers is, it's a very, very award-winning kind of a trivia game. Extremely smart trivia game, and this is just a kind of a betting and Vegas styled version of it. Wits and Wagers is a great game. It's a trivia game specifically where you don't really need to know the answer to trivia questions, because you're still able to win without knowing anything. As a matter of fact, some of the questions in here are almost ludicrous. Like, no one's going to actually know the answers to them, because it's all about just going with your gut and guessing numbers and then trying to see who has the closest number without going over. Really, really smart game. So I wanted to get this when it was on clearance, like I said, and this was one of the early purchases that kind of got the ball rolling towards me buying all of this stuff. So you can think this. I kind of want, I've got like 400 board games in the garage, and I kind of want to figure out a way to do some board gaming content. I don't know exactly what to do, but like, this is a trivia game for people that don't like trivia games, okay? And I've got like 4 or 5 others that all do that in a slightly different way. So I'm thinking of making like top 5 videos of that nature. Blinkum says, "Dang, that's quite the board game collection." Absolutely, it's one of my other passions. Yeah. So like top 5 trivia games for people who don't like trivia games. I've got ways that I can link a lot of my games together because they have similar play mechanics or similar theming and things like that. So maybe one day, if that's something that people would accept from me, that would be something I'd like to do, because I got easily 5 or 6 different games of a similar nature but with their own unique mechanics. So maybe that's something I can do someday. Let's see what's next. We're going to open this one up too. Pokemon Battle Academy. It's the trading card game. This is, in my opinion, the best value if you are interested in the Pokemon trading card game as a game. Now, if you're interested in collecting the cards for collectability, monetary sake, I'm not too worried about that. But just as a game, this is a really awesome box to get started in. This is actually the second one of these they had. I didn't even know this came out this year. I just kind of happened across it. But it includes 3 Pokemon decks, 3 full Pokemon decks, and the 3 that are included in this box are different than the 3 they included last time. So it actually is an incremental purchase, whereas you would normally play, on a trading card game, you just kind of set your cards out on the proper places when you play somebody else. You don't really need a play mat, and if you are learning a game, sometimes they'll give you a poster style play mat. Well, this thing comes with an actual board game style play mat. It's a full on board game style play mat, and I just think that's excellent. Very, very cool. This is all about getting people to learn the game. So, and if you already know how to play, it's obviously just 3 decks you can just play, various combinations of those decks against each other. And this is one that I hope we can get the nieces into learning once we get through some of the other games we want to do. So they don't spend a lot of time here, maybe a night or 2 a week. So we're going to try to institute family time after dinner every night that they spend with us. And so I'm hoping that things like this can be worked into the routine. Scott says I played Magic. Yeah, 40 or so play mats, absolutely. And speaking of Magic, I have some Magic the Gathering product. They have a product like this too that comes with 5 decks. Magic Game Night or something like that. So be on the lookout for things like that. Really nice entry level products to get into the hobby. Like as far as playing the game is concerned. Now this isn't going to be like collectible. None of these cards are going to be worth anything, but it's a very cool thing for the right people. What is next? I got another Amazon box. This just showed up today. I don't actually know what it is. Let's find out. I know what this is. We're going to come to that one later. Let's move on to something else. This is... Alright, we'll do this one. I tweeted about this too, because it was also a part of Amazon sale. This is an escape and solve mystery game with the Clue license. It's somewhat like, you might imagine it kind of like an escape room type game or a solve the murder kind of game, but just with the trappings of Clue. So it's the Clue suspects and Mr. Body and all that. This is expected to take around an hour and a half for you to solve. This is a one-time only game. So once you have gone through the game and solved it, that's it. There's nothing else you can do. So I'm not... These kinds of games are kind of popular for part of the market, and this is Hasbro's attempt to put their foot into the market as well. I don't know how this will go, but since it's a one-time only kind of thing, I definitely think you should pick up something like this at the lowest price that you're able to get it. And like I said, this was on sale on Amazon. So I love the Clue license. I buy lots of Clue products. And so I wanted to give it a shot. So maybe someday we will crack into this and solve the mystery, the treachery at Tudor Mansion. All right. This is a little different. This is a card game called Shuffle Grand Prix. This is a card game from Bicycle, the company that makes playing cards. So I'm very, very familiar with their playing cards. I'm not as familiar with them publishing games. So this was a little bit different. This was actually at Five Below. They have a lot of them. So I'm assuming this is a thing they put out a while back. Maybe it only sold moderately and Five Below ended up with all the overflow. That's just a guess on my part. But it's a card game themed around racing vehicles. And I know something about card games themed around racing vehicles because I've made content on the Uno Mario Kart game and my own personal Mario Kart card game that I designed. So this was something I wanted to check out too. There's others like Millsborn. There's a few other racing style card games, and it's just one of the themes that I'm into for card games. So I wanted to check it out. So we'll put that in the pile. What is next here? All right, we'll do this one next. Uno. This is from the makers of Uno. It's Uno Wild Twists playing cards. Absolutely nothing special about this. It's just a deck of regular playing cards. Your standard 52 cards. The only thing that's unique about this is that it includes 8 wild cards. And so with those wild cards, if you think like Uno wild cards, you might be able to jazz up some of the rules of regular playing card games. They suggest Go Fish, Poker, Gin Rummy. They have a set of rules in here for a card game that can only be played with the 8 wild cards, so it's exclusive to this deck. This is absolutely nothing special, but it's only like $3. So I wanted to just have this as part of my collection. Uno is a game I grew up with. It's a very, very sentimental family game to me. We played it immensely, especially with my grandparents. And then for years, I bought so many different Uno variations and all the different Uno products that came out. Well, eventually, I kind of got over it because Uno is such a simple game and such a game based off randomness that the allure wore off, and I decided not to buy every single Uno game that comes out anymore. So I'm a lot more picky now, and I've actually missed the last few that came out. And some of them seem kind of interesting anyway, but I've just kind of let it go. And I don't buy a lot of Uno product anymore, but I did want to grab these. These seem pretty cool. Now we're going to get back into this box. Now, with that being said, I did just buy Uno Ultimate. This is a game that came out this year. A lot of these things are things that I should have already known about. Somehow this totally missed me. It is a version of Uno, and it really does play like Uno, but it's also got added mechanics on top with these Marvel heroes, superheroes, and it just seemed really neat, really simple, very good for the kids, because it doesn't do a whole lot more that you have to really manage. You're not managing all kinds of extra hit points and just very slightly. It's all in there, but it's really simple and easy to manage stuff. So I'm hoping this one is a hit in our house. I'm not sure. Seems pretty good to me. And this comes with the 4 superheroes. They're each their own deck. And outside of this game, they actually have expansion heroes you can buy. So there's currently 3 more decks on the market. I haven't tracked them down yet. I would like to get them while they're available. One of the things that I hate is when I don't get something and then later on the value shoots up, of course. So, but I haven't found those for sale locally or online yet. So I'm going to keep my eye out for them because they're only $6 each for the add-on decks. But anyway, got the great base set here. This is one that once we are into rotation of playing these games on a regular, I'll be excited to add this one in for the kiddies. Also in that box, another one of these games, like I mentioned, that is just a new game that's branded with an old license. If we went into my collection, I've got so many of these. I think it's so interesting when they do these. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, but the risk is low. This is really inexpensive. So this is a card game based on Connect 4. I know very little about it other than that it exists. When they make these, they usually make a few at a time, and so Clue and Connect 4, and I might come across others here, I'm not sure, kind of all came out at once. And I put off getting them for a couple years, but I finally went ahead and doubled back and got them while I could. What is the next one? What do we got here? Just like I was saying, Guess Who card game. Now this one I actually looked up on YouTube today. I didn't even look it up before I bought it, since it was part of the same collection. I didn't want to, not have it. But I did look this up today. There's absolutely nothing unique about this. It is literally just you lay the cards out and play Guess Who. So this is exactly the same game as the simple Guess Who game, except without the board. You're just laying it out on the table. This is one that would play way too young for... We might play it for fun or something. But there's always new kids coming into our lives. So this would be one I say for some of the younger ones. And also in here is a phone case, because as part of this whole pickup spree, I did end up getting myself a new phone, a Pixel 6. I haven't switched over to start using it yet, but that went down with the 7 being announced, and so it's the closest I've ever been to getting a new flagship style phone. I just haven't switched over to it yet. I've got some complications on that front, but I got the case to go along with it. All right, a few more things before we move on. When I went to GameStop to pick up the Pokemon Battle Academy, I had a coupon for $5 off, and that allowed me to get this Pokemon Go deck. It's just a standard Pokemon trading card game theme deck. I have a lot of these in my collection. I like the theme decks because it's something you could buy that's like complete to some people on a trading card game. Actually, to most people, a big part of the game is buying, collecting, and building your own decks. For me, I'm real casual about it. I'll just buy a deck and play it at home. I'm not going to events. Blink, I'm sorry, I have not played Pokemon Go. I downloaded it the first day it was available. I've never played it once. Yeah, I'm kind of... that game forces you to go, like, outside? No, that ain't for me. But, so, I'm a real casual player on things like this, so if I can just get a deck complete, I'll do it. And this was only like $10, and then $5 off of that brought it down super duper cheap. For a lot of these things, I don't know if everyone treats it the same way, but I've got like a no-brainer price. If something reaches a certain price threshold, I'll just buy it. And for decks like this, like $8 or $9, if I can get a theme deck for that price or less, I'm just going to buy it. like no question, and that reached that threshold, and I was just able to get it, because I mean they normally retail 15 to 8, 16, 17, depending on where you go. Now these theme decks come out as groups, and I couldn't have one without the other, so I went on eBay and I found its matching theme deck. These were released at the same time, so I got both theme decks. I couldn't just have one, because I want to have them, because if I'm going to play them, I'll play these two decks together. That's generally how I'll do it. So, oh, Q-Dog's got to go. Take care, bud. This will be on YouTube later, on one of my side channels, so if you want to check back in, you're able to do that. It'll be posted. Now, the next one is a great big box. I'm going to move my camera up a little bit. Ugh. All right. So, this was a purchase that I'd wanted for a long time. Well, not a long time. I didn't learn about it until probably early this year, maybe late last year. But I'd wanted it from the moment I'd learned about it. And I finally, after all this time, I decided to just bite the bullet and get it. It's more gaming product. I learned about this from a buddy of mine on Twitch, Goaty. I follow him on Twitter as well. He suggested this to Josh and I about fun board games tabletop games that he likes, and I'd never heard of it before. And I try to pay a lot of attention to the hobby. Obviously, I'm not in every bit of it, but I try to pay attention. And somehow this passed me by, even though it is like a game that's super in my wheelhouse. This is Dice Throne Season 1 Rerolled. I'm going to move this down, take it out of the box. This is a giant box. What this is, basically, is Battle Yahtzee. It is character-based. You play character versus character. Boy, I want to open this up. Let's just do it. I bought it, right? You play character versus character. The characters have their own unique traits, which is just one of those things that is very, very satisfying in modern board games. That is not a mechanic that I'm used to from the games in the 80s. But yeah, that is pretty common these days. Get this open. So what we have here is we have 8 characters. And generally speaking, it's a 2-player game. You can play teams, you can play multiple players, but I'm told it plays best as a 2-player game. So you got 8 different characters. You pick 2 of them and just battle them against each other, and it's all about rolling the dice. The re-rolled this had come out originally, and they kind of redid how it's packaged and just re-released it, reprinted it. So this is the better, the more I don't know, the better packaged version of it. So you'd play as a paladin, and you got your little game board out, and your different traits. You got your dice to roll, and I'm real interested in learning more about the game. It seems way up my alley, and it's like I say, it's simple enough for me to grasp because it's just dice, and it literally does play like Yahtzee. Like, you roll, you decide what to keep, you roll again, you see what you can do with what you rolled. So that kind of thing, like I said, it's got its fans, and I think I'm going to be one of them. So that is gigantic. It's hard to how big that box is. Holy crap. So that is Dice Throne Season 1. Well, of course, and I was going to say this before, if I had bought that first, now I got that free, actually. I got that with my credit card rewards. If I had bought that first, I maybe wouldn't have bought all this other stuff. It's fancy, I know. But things went in the opposite order. I bought all the little stuff, and I worked my way up into buying the big stuff. So that's why I ended up buying so much dang stuff. So then, as part of Amazon sales, there is Marvel Dice Throne. So it's the same game with Marvel characters, and it's a whole mix and match thing. So you could play these characters versus those characters. It's a game set, you know what I mean? It's in the Dice Throne universe, so it is all cross-compatible. So this set comes with, Scotch says, all right, bud, go ahead, Scotch. Hey, I'll try to, if I know how, if you're still going, I'll try to raid over to you when I'm done. I don't really know how to do that, but I'm going to try. I'm learning to be a streamer. So that's that. Let's see what else I got here. I know I've got more. More Marvel Dice Throne. Wasn't expecting to walk out a giant wish list of board games. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. So when the Marvel set just came out a few months ago, there is a giant set that comes with all 8 characters, but they also broke it down into smaller pieces too. So this is the set with 4, and then there's a set with 2, and there's another set with 2. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have that other set here somewhere. If it's not here yet, it's on the way. So there is one more piece here, and then I'll have the complete Marvel set as well. And that just leaves, there's a season 2, which I'm not shopping for right now. That will be something I will consider once I've actually spent a lot of good quality time playing these games. Because I don't know. I bought the season 1 set, and then these ended up being really cheap. And so I had to go ahead and go for it. I wasn't initially going to buy all these. And if I had just bought these, or if these had gone on sale first, I may have postponed getting that season 1 set. But that's just how it goes sometimes. You guys collect things. You know how it goes sometimes. So I ended up just getting everything. What is in this bag here? All right, we have... Oh, geez. I forgot all about this one. So way before I bought that stuff, I learned about Dungeon Mayhem. This is I'm going to bring the camera back down now. Big box is gone. This is a D&D branded little card game. It's light. It's fun. I bought this off Reputation, and it's inexpensive. Shockingly, like a lot of the games I've shown, not the Marvel Dice, not the Dice Throne stuff, but everything else that I've shown is like extremely inexpensive. For family games nowadays, you can easily spend, $25 to $80 for a board game. This guy here, $15, and you might even be able to get it on a special. And this guy here was like around 15 or less, maybe 12. So this just tripped my trigger. Same kind of deal. Entry level into, not into real D&D, but into the D&D ethos and the characters. From my understanding of it, people really, really like it. Even though it's light, it's a light game, but that's okay. For me, a light game is exactly what I'm on the market for right now. So I have some heavier games. They never get played. So maybe some of my lighter ones actually will get played. Oh, also, there are add-ons to this that are available too. There's 2 add-ons to this that are both on my Amazon wish list. Same situation. I'll get them down the road once I've spent some quality time with this. I'm not going to rush to get those right away. But like I said, the people that I read reviews about this, very enthusiastic about it. So I'm going off their lead, and that's that. All right. We are close to getting into gaming stuff, or video gaming stuff. We had a Happy Meal excursion over the past couple months. They did Pokemon cards in the Happy Meals. I tried to get all the different ones. This time I really didn't try all that hard, so I ended up with a mixed bag of 1, 2, 4, and 8. If I was really motivated to, I could track them down on eBay. I'm not really all that motivated to do so. I like having them, but it's not that big of a deal. And these are also things that I pick up. Let's see. That same trip to GameStop, I got a wall mount for the Ring Fit. So it's a little bracket, goes up on the wall, and it will hold the Ring Fit and hold a couple Joy-Con. You see that there? And it was like $2, and I think it was half price clearance too, so I may have only paid $1 for it. So yeah, that was a cute Happy Meal box, wasn't it? So I got a place on the wall scoped out that this might end up going, so we'll see. All right, I mentioned Five Below earlier. We have Five Below shop here in town. I don't go there a whole lot, but I usually find interesting things when I go there. I got this. This is a handheld mini wireless keyboard. It's exactly like any wireless USB keyboard. It's got a USB dongle, but you use it almost like a little handheld controller. It's just a nice thing to have handy. I had one a few years ago. I had it long enough that the rechargeable battery ended up expanding, and I had to get rid of it. And I think this cost roughly as much as it would have cost to try to get another battery pack for the one I already own. So I use this specifically for troubleshooting. Sometimes when I don't need to have a full keyboard handy, and a lot of times I'll have this hooked up to my my Amazon TV box to just help with data entry when I'm dealing with that. Sir Chadley says, oh, that's a good idea. Mine is currently being held up by a Nintendo Labo box. It must be talking about Ring Fit. Yeah, check your GameStop. You might be able to find one on clearance as well. It seemed like a good purchase. All right. Also at Five Below, we had some desk mats. Now, what I'm on right here, this is just a regular old desk mat. I got this on Amazon. This is a smaller one, but this is a PlayStation branded one. They actually had several. I did not buy every kind they had, but I think these kind of come in handy for different things. It's kind of nice. Real nice there, huh? PlayStation, and then the symbols over here. That's pretty cool. And of course, I also found Super Mario Brothers 1, which, if you know me, you know I really kind of sort of couldn't pass this one up. So let's give it a shot. Let's take a look at it. Look at that. It's gorgeous. That's just awesome. Like I said, that was another Five Below find. They have others as well. They had Mario Kart, some generic gaming ones, but man, I couldn't go without grabbing this. You will very likely see these show up in future videos. I'll probably use them to stage props and things like that. So that's what I intend to use them for. Sir Chadley says, oh, nice. I've heard they're great for gaming consoles that don't have a keyboard, like a Steam Deck. Oh yeah, sure. Anything that would take a wireless keyboard, because it is frankly a wireless keyboard. It's just in a handheld form factor. Wegaman's here. Five Belows have popped up. Need to check them out. Yep, the PS1 one is classy. Yeah, I figured if I was buying it, I might as well get a couple. I know a couple things that are going to come in handy for that. All right, we're getting really close to video gaming stuff. All right, we have a purchase that I made from customgamecases.com. Most of you are probably aware and familiar with that site. I've done business with them in the past, and I do make purchases with them as well. So I went ahead and bought, look at that pretty purple. I bought cases for all of my Game Gear games. Now, I don't have a whole lot of Game Gear games, which made this purchase a little easier and less expensive, but I bought for all the Game Gear games I have. These cases, I had already had one from reviewing them for my channel, and I am a big fan of the company. I'm a big fan of their product. Come on, open up here. And these cases are very well. Yeah, they're really good. The only thing I have against them, and it's a minor quibble, it's kind of me personal thing, and I will tell you what, the color is, it's coming across to a degree, but it's a lot more vibrant in the room. So especially, yeah, the purple is great. The all of my Game Gear games have the original clamshell case, and you can't use that in here. So I actually have to uncase all of them in order to recase them. Now, this has the benefit of being able to put the manual in, but still, it's just one of those trade-offs. So I'll end up with a stack of empty clamshell cases that I still have to store. That was one of the big reasons why I put off buying these for so long. It's the same story with Game Boy as well. I like their cases a lot. I really wouldn't mind, hypothetically, switching over to their cases. But all of my Game Boy games have clamshells. I don't buy them loose. I bought a lot of my games over the years new, so I generally have everything that came with it. So for here, I am gonna have to make somewhat of a sacrifice and take them all out of their protective clamshells to put in these better cases. So, because eventually I will be redoing my game shelves in my living space here, and this will be a part of that. They're so pretty. All right, where are we? I guess we're getting to video games now, guys. Let's get over here. All right, start off here. I have Marsupilami. This is one that buddy Matt, was it Muddy Rivers Matt Waters? He was streaming this. I knew the game came out. I knew nothing about it. It looked like a kid's game. I paid it zero mind. Well, luckily I caught his stream, and when he was playing it, it super seemed up my alley. It is very much a Donkey Kong Country Returns based platformer, 2D platformer. It's on the shorter side, it's on the simpler side, but it's very beautiful, and he looked like he was having fun playing it. I could definitely imagine myself playing it, and overall it was pretty inexpensive too, so I went ahead and added it to my collection. This is going to be a just beat it here before too long. Sir Chadley says he's storing about 40 Game Boy clamshell cases. Yep, and Blink really needs to get that one, but I tell you, it's it fit the bill. Alright, this is for the girls again. Just Dance 2021. This was like $6 on Amazon. I did the most recent one I have. I don't buy. This is actually only the second Just Dance game I've bought. I think I have 2019 over there for the Xbox, which can use the Kinect, or the Xbox One, you know what I mean, which uses the Kinect. This one you'll have to use a smart device since PlayStation 5. Even though there is a camera, it doesn't use a camera in that fashion. Haven't even opened it yet. They go gaga for the games, but then they don't want to play the song except for the songs they know, and they maybe know 5 or 6 songs on it, and that's it. So, yeah, Wega Man, that cartoon was from Disney. I learned that's actually like a Dutch cartoon or a Dutch character from Dutch comics or something like that. And Disney licensed the character, but he's his own freestanding thing. I never knew that. I thought it was strictly a Disney thing, but no, he was just licensed for that cartoon series back in the 90s. Blinky Mass, do I play it with them? No way, bro. I don't Just Dance. The closest thing I do to Just Dance is a little bit of DDR, and I play a little bit of Dance Central. But I don't, strictly speaking, dance. I am not the dancer type. That is a way that I don't know. I'm just not good. I'm just not good, and I never got good. I found this. I don't remember where I found it. I think at Kohl's, maybe $6 for Geometry Wars 3. So it's like, okay, I'll do that. So that was that one. Alright, this one I added to my wish list a while back. I don't do a lot of importing. This is technically an import, even though it's just from the UK. So, Brain Training for the Switch. So, if you remember the Brain Training games for the DS, very much along the same lines. This was Nintendo published. And it's got some new things in there too. It actually uses the IR camera on one of the Joy-Con to do rock, paper, scissors. You get to play against the machine, and it can tell what your hand's doing with the IR camera. Pretty cool. One of the things that I liked about it, it actually includes a stylus, and so there's a little stylus in there too. Pretty inexpensive, and so I just kind of wanted to add that to my collection. I was interested anyway, but I missed out on the last one. 3DS had a Kawashima had a Dr. Kawashima game, but I never got it, so I'm kind of out of it. But this seemed interesting enough to add to my Switch collection, so I did. Let's see what else is here. All right, let's see what I got. This is going into unknown here because I have no idea what all I bought. Ooh, oh, okay. So check this out. This is a game that's been on my wish list for years. For years. I wasn't I didn't pay a lot of attention, but it just wasn't available. Then all of a sudden, it's all over eBay. There's used copies on Amazon. I have no idea how it became available all of a sudden because it was not reprinted, it was not reissued. This is Dragon's Lair 3, the DVD game. Let me tell you what this is. You're probably familiar with Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2 and Space Ace. Those have been ported to so many systems. They were ported to DVD, which you can literally play the game with a DVD remote. This is the same thing. It's a game that is pre-recorded video that you can play with a DVD remote. But did they animate a whole new adventure for Dirk? No. They took footage from Dragon's Lair 3D for the Xbox, the original Xbox, and they stitched together Dragon's Lair 3D footage to make a new choose your own path kind of quick time event game, and then they published it to DVD. It's the darndest thing. Yeah, you say Don Bluth. This is not Don Bluth animation. This is cell shaded video game graphics that they've pre-recorded and menu style made into some kind of a DVD game. So I kind of overspent for it, but it shocked me that it had become available. I didn't want to miss out on it. I do have the other ones on DVD over on my shelf. I actually have, well, we haven't talked about it, I've got probably 10 to 20 DVD games of various stripes. So this was one I wanted to add to that collection as well. And I will be opening this and checking it out. But I'm not expecting a lot of quality because it just is what it is. It's like a pre-recorded playthrough of the Dragon's Lair 3D game. That's the darndest thing I've ever seen. All right, this, I can tell it's a GameFly envelope. So let's see what I bought from GameFly used. All right. First and foremost, I'll tell you, I mentioned this, I think, on Blake's stream last night. A lot of the games that came out this year that are games that are in my wheelhouse, games that I want, are sequels in a series that I'm not caught up yet. So I'm not going to bother buying the new game until I get caught up on the series. And that will include God of War Ragnarok. I'm behind like 3 God of War games, so I didn't get it. That includes several others too, and up until GameFly had it on sale, that included Kirby and the Forgotten Land. But like I said, sometimes you have a just do it price, and for a new release video game or a Nintendo published video game, usually my just do it price is $40. So if I can get it for $40 or less for most games, that's just going to trigger it, and I'm just going to get it because they usually hold their value. And so now I do have it. Now, I won't be playing it right away. I'm 4 or 5 Kirby games behind. And I've got all of them. Except for some of the side games. But this was good. I played the demo. I am excited to get to it. I know it's a good game. But yeah, there you go. I also got PlayStation 5 The Quarry. Frankly, I forgot I bought this. So it's another one of the Supermassive games. It's dark pictures anthology style game, and so I think this one had somewhat mixed reviews, but hey, I'm glad to have it. And of course they had a new game trailer come out today for the PlayStation VR 2 game, so that looks exciting as heck too. Charlie says good call. Yeah, $40. Yeah, I agree. And then lastly, I got the Cowabunga collection. I went ahead, since it's just emulation, I went ahead and picked up the PS4 version. I could have got it for PS5, but like, why? Like, it's fine if you do, but it's like, it was hard to decide. I decided PS4 just because I can play it on more systems. I can play it on my PS4 or on my PS5, and so that's why I went with PS4 version of it. So I will be booting this up, and it's so pristine. I'll be booting this up right away. There's several of these I want to go through. So there is that. All right, what else do I have? Okay, that, and that. Okay, so one of the bigger purchases I made, and I didn't buy this for the streaming because I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing streaming all the time. But if I do continue to stream, this will become a good part of it. Go back to, I was mentioning the Prime early days, whatever summer sale they had, because I bought this back in July. They put the Evercade Versus on a special price, and it was a special enough price that I went ahead and went for it. Oh, see, yeah, in my day one on PSVR 2, I already have the money saved up for it, and even with today's price announcement, I technically have the money for it, so we'll see. I am also behind on VR games, so there's no big rush there, because just buying the hardware, I still got to buy games too, right? So we'll see. I'm leaning towards maybe being an early adopter, but maybe the only reason I'd want to be day one is to secure the hardware, so in case it goes on a drought like the system has, I wouldn't have to wait. But anyway, I doubt the price will drop in the first year. It's not going to be cheaper by Christmas next year. So there's a lot to consider there. I'm still mulling it over. So the Evercade Versus, the Evercade first came out as a handheld system. Handhelds are great, but I don't prefer to play handheld when I can avoid it. And then they came out with a console version of the same thing. It runs the same cartridges as the handheld. And much more recently, they're about to launch an updated handheld for the same ecosystem. So it runs on cartridge. It plays licensed versions of old games, arcade, old console games, and this and that. So this is the version that only comes with one controller. There is a system that comes with two controllers and two cartridges. I would really rather have gotten that one, but it wasn't the one that Amazon put on special. So I decided that I would just go ahead and get this one anyway. The controllers are just USB, so several USB controllers will work, so I don't have to really track down an Evercade controller to play this if I were to be playing it with other people, which, as you and I both know, pretty unlikely. I'm mostly going to be playing this alone. So when I bought it, I went ahead and decided to pick up a cartridge. The cartridge that came with the big bundle, I think it's this one. So I went ahead and bought the cartridge that would have come with it, or they just had a version with an extra cartridge bundled. So I went ahead and bought that. And so I have Atari Lynx Collection 1, and this has 17 Atari Lynx games on it. Now, since I didn't get the analog pocket, and I'm not getting a Lynx converter for it, this is a licensed way to play these Lynx games. And it's all HDMI, so I could technically play it on stream. If I had done this pickup video sooner, one of the games on here is Dracula the Undead, which is a game I kind of wanted to stream through Halloween, but it didn't happen, and that's okay. My camera's battery's about to die, so I'm going to have to pick up the pace here. This game, I just couldn't believe how cute this little case was, and these cartridges are relatively inexpensive, so I just had to buy more. So I bought a Mega Cat Studios game. One of the games on here, Old Tower, is a puzzle kind of platformer game that I'm very interested in playing. When I bring that to stream, that'll be one that you'll know right away. Yep, that is a top kind of game. And then I bought some games from Castlemania, and they had a sale, and I bought a bunch of them. So here's my friends at Castlemania Game. But Castlemania Games still has one game due to me that has not been shipped yet. So I'm not super happy with them. Why do you put something on sale if you don't have stock? I don't know, but that's what happened. So we got several more here. Now, I'm not going for a full collection of these. I think that might be a little foolish at this point, but they're all numbered. So if you wanted to go for a full collection, they have them numbered in that way to help out. So I got Worms Collection because I'm not too familiar with the Worms games. I got Codemasters that has 17 games on it. Indie Heroes 1, which Indie Heroes 2 is in production, will be coming out soon. And I just learned that the Versus, once you get to the new firmware and you set it up with online, on the Evercade Versus, they actually do a game of the month. So you get a free game you can play for the whole month. And this month it's John Briggs, what's his name? It's Yay Blabless from John Riggs. Is the game of the month for the Evercade Versus. So I didn't know they did that. I check out all the reviews and everything. I was not aware of that. I got Data East Collection, 10 games. This is Data East Arcade, so it's 10 arcade games. I got Pico Collection. These are going to be mostly probably Amiga type games, but there's some decent ones in here. I got a lot of these because they were very, very inexpensive. And then the Lynx Collection 2 with 8 more Lynx games, including one of my personal favorites, Todd's Adventure in Slime World. That's a good one. Chips Challenge too. Hey, Chips Challenge, Blink. So I got a big old mass of these. Let's see what else I got down here. I got one more. Come on out of there. I got Mega Cat Studios Collection 2. And that is... So that was a late ship, and I'm still waiting. I've got one more cartridge they owe me. They put these on sale for between $10 and $15 each, so I just bought a bunch of them. And like I said, one of them I'm still waiting to be fulfilled. So that is going to be something that I will be looking into more now. It's kind of silly because if you're into emulation, and I am, you could do all this without the system, but it is nice to have something licensed, and you know, let the devs get the money that is due to them. I think that's a nice thing to do. And I got one more thing to open, and then we're probably going to have to kill it because, like I said, I did not grab a second battery pack, and my wife isn't here to direct me where they are. This just came. You might be aware of it, familiar with it. That is my, come out of there. It's taped down, it's glued down. My Genesis Mini 2. So I did spring for the thing with some cool Sega CD games on it this time. I just watched GameStack's video on it today. So pretty darn neat. So anyway, guys, that is my pickup. Long awaited pickup video. So I am killing it because I really am getting a flashing red light on my camera, and I don't want the screen to die. So everyone, thanks for showing up and hanging out. I hope this was an enjoyable time for you. When I publish this to YouTube, it'll be on my second channel, which is the Underground Vault, because that channel is more personal to me and my stuff. And there'll be Amazon links to almost all this stuff when I do it. So if you want to go back through what some of that stuff is, it'll be very easy for you to find. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you all very much. Let's see if I can do a raid command here. Oh, battery exhausted. I told you that was going to happen. Let me go here. All right, I think you can still hear me. So we're going to sign out here in just a second. Meanwhile, let me see if my guy Scotch is up or not. Here he is. All right, so is it... that works. All right, folks, everybody have fun. Tell Scotch I said hi. We'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.